Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Ultimate Affiliate Marketing. I'm your host. It's Paul Motley here, and it's Thursday. Oh my God, we've nearly got to the end of the week again. Couple of announcements. First off, we hit over 10,000 downloads, so I'm super pumped and really excited about that. And it shows that you guys have hopefully got some value out of what I've been talking about over the last few months. If it's your first time listening, then I do these podcasts every single day. So, there's a whole bunch. So drop a subscribe on there and you won't miss out. Anyway, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you can actually ramp up your affiliate marketing business by creating your own products. And when we're talking about this, right, there's a couple of ways of doing it, and there's always a right way to do it. And this is from my own experience, and it's something that literally I've done over the last couple of weeks, right? So what I've done is I've taken my experience, I tested some things out, and then I already have a whole bunch of people on my Facebook which are in the same niche as me, some of which are desperate to try and use paid ads and things like that. So I've identified a problem, and the problem being is they either A, don't know how to run the ads, or B, they think that running ads is so expensive and it's not actually going to do them any good. So what I did was I experimented with I wouldn't say a new way, but definitely a new way for me, and it's probably something that a lot of people overlook, to do with Facebook ads. And then I put it together, tested it all out myself, started generating results, and then I thought, do you know what? I could show people how to do this. And I put it out there, and this was even before I'd even created the product itself. So I thought, okay, right, well, I'm going to list it out, and if people want it, that's great. So created a cart page, which basically means a means for people to pay, and then created what we call a thank you page, which is if once people have paid, they get redirected to another sort of like single web page. And on there, I let people know that the training was going to be coming up either that day or the day after, and added a couple of little bits on there as well, so that they didn't feel like, oh no, I've just paid for something, this guy's ripped me off, right? So I didn't want to leave that one out there because that would be really bad. And of course, anyone that's purchased will have known me anyway. So I'm dealing with an extremely warm market, because these people are either listen to my podcast, they might have seen me on YouTube, they might have seen me in groups, they might have seen me on my Facebook, they might be friends on Facebook as well. So it's not going out to completely cold audiences that just simply don't know who I am, right? So that was the key part of it all. And this whole attraction marketing that you can do using Facebook is so powerful. But when you mix in within very similar circles to people, then if you can find something that people want and it solves a problem for them, then that's great. And you can choose to either release it as a free training or you can release it as a paid training. And in this part, I decided to do it as a paid training simply because I wanted to make sure that if people were going to go through the training, that they were serious enough to get their wallets out, and actually then it would urge them to go and get results. Because you could just give away free stuff for the rest of your life, and believe you and me, a whole lot of people will take you up on it but not actually follow through with it. Those people which actually put their hands in their pockets, get their wallets out and make a commitment to themselves, those are the people which are most likely to get the results, because they will follow through on the training they received. So we did this, and I thought, okay, right, well, I'm not going to have it as like a big thing. I didn't really want it to be like evergreen and run ads to the training itself, or try and scale it up and make a huge, great big business out of it. It was solely for just trying to get this information in the right people's hands. So that's what I did. And I priced it at $97, which again is dirt cheap, and I've had some fantastic feedback from those people which have already bought as well. Just the fact that it's opened the eyes, got them excited about running ads again, and someone mentioned that anyone else who didn't buy this would be crazy not to get it because of the value involved, and I really appreciate that feedback. I just wanted to make it so easy for people to do. So it was almost like a step-by-step. It was a paint-by-numbers training, showing people exactly what I did with nothing left out, right? So it was This is what I did here. This is what I did there. This is the copy. This is the ads. This is this. This is this, right? So it was all together. So that's how you can create a product. Once you've identified a problem and you've got an audience and you know that people are wanting to learn it, then you can create the product. But of course, there's another side of this, which is your affiliate marketing side. So what else can you do? Well, if they want to implement the training and get the same results as myself, then they will need a couple of different tools, some of which they might already own, which is great, and they can just crack on straight away, some of which they might not. And of course, these are tools that I recommend. These are tools that I use personally. And it goes back to a lot of times when I talk about what I promote online is products and services that I actively have received a positive experience and a positive return on investment by using. Okay, so these are the things which I personally use in my business, but they do have an affiliate program to it, and the customer's not paying any more from that. I just get a kickback from the product creators themselves that the affiliate program's attached to. So if you just think about that, think it might not be that I'm trying to sell. Let's take for an example, Connect.io. If I just went up and said, hey, look, this software is really cool and I use it, it's super awesome, go get it now. That's a little bit sort of like spammy and a little bit like people will start yawning and they just won't pay attention. But if I can show how I used it and exactly what I did with it and why it's made such a great return on investment, then that would give them more of an incentive to use it. So, of course, that will then build my business on the back end. So not only am I getting the payment up front, which is great. Obviously, it's not life-changing amounts. So, this wasn't the focus. The focus was to try and get it into the right hands. To those people which were interested enough to pay for it, the actual training itself. And again, like dirt cheap at $97. Dirt cheap, right? It's not a huge investment for people. I didn't want to make it like $7 or anything like that because, again, it's just so easy for people just to flip out $7 or $20 or $37, the usual amounts that you see online. I wanted to make sure that it was a little bit more of a qualifying product price because that way I know that people are going to act on it. And I've got to admit that when you're doing these type of things, you've got to be honest in what you're providing people. You have to basically do what you say you're going to do. The product has to deliver. In this case, it absolutely does. Those people which go through it and do exactly what I'm showing them to do, it's an over-the-shoulder training, screen shares, the whole lot, together with resources list, the copy and paste stuff that I put together and all that good stuff, right? It has to make sure that you deliver on the promise. And of course, you stay ethical and you stay honest all the way through the process. And that way people get the best value out of it. And what I also wanted to make sure was that it wasn't available for long. I didn't want to have to focus on this for forever and type of thing. So I've decided that it's going to cut off tomorrow, like maybe first thing Saturday morning, because obviously a lot of people that are on my Facebook are in the States. So if I stuck like a midnight on it, then it's going to be like 5 or 6 a.m. for me, which on a Saturday is not my best time. So come Saturday morning, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to turn off the ability for people to actually buy the product itself, right? Buy the training. And I've said it. I posted it on Facebook today saying that, it's going to close tomorrow. That's it. We're done. If it does come back and if there's enough people asking for it to come back or anything like that, then I may do it next month. But that's going to be at a higher price simply because I want to reward the people which took action now for getting it at a lower price. Right? And if it does come back, it will include some extra stuff that I'm learning right now, because then again, I can add more value to the training. And those people which have already got it, they get that for free. I'm not going to charge them extra. They're going to get all that, right? So it's very simple, straightforward. And I've got a couple of ideas on how I can do that if I decide to do that. I may not. Next month could be, completely different. I might have another focus, something else that I'm working on. I have been working on for a long time that I want to get out there. And it may be November time that I actually do that. So maybe that will take my time, and that's what I want to do. But going back to the point of creating your own product. So again, we've talked about this a few times on the podcast itself. It's talking about learning, implementing, mastering, and then teaching. Okay, so just try and think about those 4 things. So you learn something. Now, it could be something that you learn through Facebook or YouTube or a paid program or anything like that. And then you start to implement it yourself. Don't sit there on trainings and information and don't act on it, right? Your business will never move forward if you don't act on the information given to you. And then master it. If there are results which are said that you can get, then try and repeat those results. Now, I don't know anybody that's ever done a training which has got 100% or surpassed the product creator's results, right? It just doesn't happen. Now, I'm sure there's people out there screaming at me going, yeah, sure you can do this, you can do that. But just my experience, that's what I'm saying, and that's it. Then you're going to master it, and you're going to actually make sure that you know it inside and out. And I mean inside and out. Something that you wouldn't be afraid to stand up or go live and teach people and show people how you did something and how effective it's been. And that sort of crosses over into the teaching side as well. And again, you can do that either for free, or you can actually decide that you're going to want to stick a price tag on there as well. And what people charge, there's a whole world of thought on what to charge for trainings. I've seen trainings that last 3 days, virtual events, whole 8 hours a day, and people have only charged $297 for it. I've seen other people charging $297 for something that you can whiz through in a couple of hours. I've even seen trainings for like $400-500, which again is the same. But then I've also seen training which is like $1,000 maybe, and it can take you weeks to go through. Right? So you just think about the amount of value that people are going to gain from it. And that is why you've got to think, again, you look at quality over quantity and all this good stuff. There's so many different trains of thoughts, and there's no right or wrong in my eyes as far as what to charge. But you have to deliver the value. That's so important. If you don't want people coming back to you and saying, do you know what? It wasn't quite what I wanted. It wasn't quite good enough. You don't want those sort of reports back. So always over-deliver. Always have something extra that was either unannounced or something that surpasses what you promised in the first place. And that's the way to make sure that people will come back to you as well. You will earn a reputation amongst your peers for over-delivering, which is exactly the position you want to be in. Because you don't want to be in the position of just sending crap out there, which people don't really get much value from. Anyway, right, so that's me done for today. We'll join you all again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, or your morning, or whatever whenever you're listening to this. But for right now, this is me out, and I will catch up again with you tomorrow.